back to another episode of I Am That Bitch podcast. And today with me, I have the champion of Grand Slam, of Speaker Slam, the very first one, Marcos Mendoza. Thank you for coming on, buddy.
What's up, Val? I'm so happy to be here. I love your energy.
You bring that energy out in me. You inspire me. And, we actually haven't met in person.
We haven't met yet?
No, we have not met. We were in the same room, but we didn't know each other. That was in January at Reinvention. I think you got called up did you get called up for Inspiration Talk as well as me?
I did. I missed it. I was in the washroom.
And then I think, because, you're part of the community, so you friend people and you're like, I don't think we've met. How do I know you? And I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, why did I friend this guy? Like, I just don't. Like, I wouldn't friend just a random guy. So I go through your profile. I'm like, oh, Speaker Slam. And then we just started shooting the shit.
We did. And we've been shooting the shit since.
Well, I have to give you props because I've been sitting on recording this podcast for 2 fucking years. And it was one conversation with you. Now, this is people that are watching. This is what a coach does. And I didn't even pay him for this shit. He literally sat there and said, just start recording. Just do it. You got until like 111 episodes before you even get noticed. So just start doing it. And it was like a fucking slap in the face, buddy. So I'm grateful for you.
Yeah, no, it's been amazing to see what you've been doing, like especially winning the championship, even like calling me before, like in your rehearsals and like just questioning, your approach and your vision and your direction and you leaning in on me for my opinion. And then you going and being your most authentic self and then winning, which is just a testament to your power and your presence and your energy and your impact. And then starting the podcast after that, it's I definitely think it's time for me to bill you.
Oh, look at the time. That concludes this episode.
I love that you have I am that bitch and I have the I am speech, right? Like,
I think we were meant to. So I was just going to bring up that speech. That speech to me, when I heard it for the first time, and I've shared it with many people, because you're so dynamic on stage. You're a poet. Do you know it?
I know it.
Yeah, you have to know it. Like that speech is so powerful. And I'm going to put the link in below when I post this episode up because everybody should watch it. It's so, how did you get to that? Like, I am, and you were so like, I am. And it was so powerful. I fucking loved it.
So the origin story is my first business was I would write customized affirmations for people. So I had a client who wanted me to write up an I am affirmation for her to listen to in the morning. So she filled out my assessment and she told me all about her dreams, her goals, her desires, her challenges. And I started writing I am as an affirmation for her. So the speech was originally inspired as like something that she would say to herself in the mirror or listen to in her headphones every morning because that's what she paid for. So she paid me $300 for it. And I had a bunch of clients. People would pay me $300 and I would write these customized affirmations for them for morning and night. So the I am came from that original place where I wrote that speech for her to use as an affirmation. Wow. And then when Speaker Slam came around, I loved the speech so much that I asked her, I'm like, hey, I have a speech coming up. Do you mind if I use the affirmation, as a speech? And then I'll obviously make it my own. And she's like, absolutely, go for it. It's yours. I'm like, okay, cool. So I am actually came from me writing it for someone else.
Oh, it's so beautiful, Marcos. It's so not like, okay, yes, it's beautiful, but it's powerful. And, I didn't start doing affirmations, and I'll tell you, not since the last like 6 or 7 years. So I went through a really dark place with one of my best friends, and we broke up basically. And I don't know. I just turned to YouTube, and do you know Jake Ducey? I'm sure everybody knows Jake Ducey. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I just found this random guy, right? And I just started listening to him, and I wasn't really believing it. And I thought, what harm in it? What? There's no harm if I just start doing, some affirmations. I am, or dear universe, or whatever. And I started doing it because I just needed an outlet because I was so distraught, right? And and the more I said it, the more I believed it, the more I felt it, and then my life just changed. And it really, really worked. Where I've literally manifested my life right now. It's it's really amazing. But that took me, like, I'm 52, so I was in my 40s when I started doing it.
Amazing. I find that the I am is a Kickstarter for an energetic movement that happens in the mind, body, and the soul. So it's information, and if it's paired with music, then it's information paired with music, and then it stimulates the emotions, it stimulates the psyche, it stimulates parts of you that have you think and get into an elevated state where you start to think differently and you start to perceive differently and you start to act differently. So affirmations, that I feel like that's really what they're for, is they stimulate they stimulate movement inside of our mind, body, and soul. And then the actions that we take are inspired by the catalyst that those affirmations showed up as. And with the I am, for me, now it's been, I think I'm going on 9 years with that. I've done it, I've performed it live about, 400 times. Like, I've
Wow.
memorized it. Like, it's memorizing that speech has been like the greatest challenge of my life, because no matter how many times I do it, every time I go do it live, I'm always terrified of forgetting the words. And I always do forget the words. So thank God I have this freestyle ability, because I make stuff up all the time in that speech. But it's so nerve wracking because for me, it's a masterpiece and it
It
deserves to
is.
be memorized word for word. Like, even right now, I could just recite that entire 9 minute speech off the top of my head. Like, it's a beast of a speech,
It's a
because it's
beast. Can
not
you give us a
really.
small pour? Actually, I'm going to put you on test. Can you give us a small portion of it?
Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. The thing is
Okay.
like, because it's a speech, it's a performance, and it's got spoken word, it's got lyricism, it's got
Yeah.
storytelling, like it's got affirmation. It's not like a 45-minute speech that you would memorize for a keynote. It's a straight up 9 minute blast off experience with the music, that then it's like I gotta say the parts of the speech to fit in the pockets of the verses and the subverses, so that I don't lose track of the song, which is
Yeah.
essentially, it's the song. So
Yeah.
it's a really interesting experience. And when I go off on that speech, it's like, let me see, like, I think my favorite part is like, right in the middle, when the song is like after the bridge and the instruments start to pick up, and it's like, be proud as you say this, be bold as you say this, and be courageous. Disregard any sense of formal education that you think that you may need, and focus only on a desire to create. And then I forget. See, I forgot already. Like,
No,
it's
but I
like,
like the part chin up, chest out. Feel
arms to the
it.
sky with a gleaming smile on your face. Say these words with conviction. Spread your arms wide and soar to the sky as your imagination takes you to all the places that you wish to go. The road has been paved for you, and your optimism is the energy that will keep you on track. You have the formula to success. You now have the formula to success. The energy has been invested. The faith has grown stronger, and your passion for creativity will reach an all-time high. You now have every reason to keep dreaming. You now have every reason to keep dreaming. You've created a life for yourself that has been inspired by the people, places, and things that have emotionally driven you. And you are now on the journey towards sharing it with the world. And you may not even know it, but you are contributing to the human collective. And through your efforts to live your dreams, you are now inspiring others to get clear on their purpose. Today is your day. Now is your moment. Consider wherever you reside as the city of dreams, because it doesn't matter where you live. What matters is how you live, and through the practical use of your emotional intelligence. And then it just keeps going and going and going.
Fucking awesome.
It's
Awesome.
crazy.
Awesome. Oh my God. I just had an idea, but I'll talk to you off camera. But oh my God, Marcos. I see, guys, this is, so I saw this speech and I fell in love with this fucking guy. He's just so powerful. And then if you follow him, and I'll put all his deets in, just this content that he puts out, and he just, I don't know, you speak to me in my life right now at this moment. You speak to me, and I'm grateful for it. So
I'm so grateful. I'm so fucking grateful. Thank you so much. Honestly, I've gone through some really fucking hard shit. So to be, affirmed and edified and seen and valued, it adds a really nice touch of love to my own ego that has been depleted because of so much adversity.
Well, I say to my nieces and nephews, you're supposed to go through that to get to here, right? You know that. I'm preaching to the choir when it comes to
I have all the
when it comes to this
parables.
stuff.
I have them all.
Yeah, you know it, right? And I wouldn't change. So I've gone through some shit, like my brother being a criminal, our house raided, gun to my head, like just shit, being broke, no money for food. But I wouldn't change a thing, Marcos. I wouldn't change because I am who I am today, and I love who I am. I
It's funny
really
how I
do.
hear people say that. That's such a common cliche, not to discredit it, but I always hear people say that, and I'll be like, "Fuck that! I would change a fuck ton of shit.
Would
I would
you?
change so many things. I would change so many things.
That,
Like I
what?
do no way. Like everyone's like, oh, I would rather. And not again, not to discredit your story, but
No. Well, you
I
just did,
no
fucker.
what?
Well, you just did, fucker.
No. This isn't about you. This is about the ideology that people say. Like I wouldn't change a thing. It made me who I am
Yeah,
today. It's
but
like
it
I could have
did.
been this version of myself. What if I'm not completely fulfilled with this version of myself that I am today? What if I am bruised, battered, and beaten by the dumb decisions and choices that I've made in the past that have got me to be this person that I am today that I'm not actually 100% happy with, right? So
Oh,
it's like if I was 100% satisfied with the person that I am today, and like, oh, I went through all that shit and now I'm this person that then I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, I love who I am today and thank God I went through that shit. But that's not the reality. My life, the way my life is manifested, my inspiration has come from fucking suffering. Deliberate, unintentional, or rather deliberate, intentional, unwanted suffering from confusion and self victimization. So all the inspirational shit that you see is literally me processing my own trauma that I'm going through in my life and then channeling that trauma from a place of coming through it and moving through it. So, am I happy with the person that I am today? And would I change things in the past? I would change so many fucking things to avoid so many problems and to avoid so much pain because it was unnecessary and I didn't want to have to go through it. And then honestly, like there's irreversible damage that it's like, yeah, I would go back and avoid that from happening.
yeah. Okay. I can see that. I think there's maybe, I don't know. I really do like who I am. And I think if I didn't have the brother that I had, I wouldn't be in the business that I am. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't, he put us through hell. Would I change that? For his sake, I would change that. For my nephew's sake, I would change it because, like you said, there's damage there. You know what I mean? So, but I think I would change a couple things for my father because he suffered a lot. But for me, I don't know. I like the way we grew up. I liked the people around me, and I know they were good guys, bad guys, or whatever. I don't. I'm very at 52 years old. I can tell you, I am who I am, and I really, truly like who I am. I really
I'm
do.
glad. I'm really glad.
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you. I'm I I I really do love who I am, and if I had the chance to save myself from having to go through certain things, I would.
But you wouldn't be the same person.
But it doesn't matter. The person that I am today is not 100%. I'm not 100% fulfilled with who I am. I would much rather be so many different versions of who I could have been by making different choices, like 100%. 100%.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I just, I love who you are. I love everything about you.
I,
Truly.
I, I love that you love that. Take
So
it
the
my
facade is working.
I'm like, I've on my shoulder. You just that's what the podcast is for. You should do a subsection of the podcast, which is where you just say positive affirmations to people, and then you just tell them, "Listen to me all throughout your day. Just wear one earphone in your ear and just listen to me tell you that you are that bitch. You are that
Yes,
motherfucker.
I
You are
should
that
fucking do there. A business idea. There we go. And it would be
subscription.
swearing.
Has to
Don't
have
feel
swearing.
sorry for yourself. Get the fuck off the couch. What are you doing?
Yes,
You're better than that. Get up.
fuck is my
Chin up.
favorite word.
Chest out. Just kidding.
Pressed out, arms to the sky. All right, guys, we're
Yeah.
going to take a break now. I'm going to just get some water. Enjoy Marcos Mendoza's I Am speech, and I'll see you in 9 minutes. And then you play the speech, right? It's a
There
whole
you
thing.
go.
Fuck is actually my favorite word. I have three favorite words. I have fuck, imagination, and love. And fuck is a versatile word. You know, it's like
It
it
is.
can be used before any word, after any word, inside of a word, in any context, can mean so many things. It's just an unbelievably universal word, and I just fucking love it. It's like,
My aunt always gives me shit. Like they'll watch me and they'll go, "Why you say fuck too much?"
oh, you
And I
swear
said,
so
"I don't know.
much.
It just comes out of me."
My mom just started swearing this year. She just
Really?
started swearing. She out of nowhere, she's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "What? When did you start swearing?"
My mom never swears. My dad used to. He would when something frustrated him. I had my phone on do not disturb. Anyway, when something frustrated him, he'd go, "Oh, and then he'd do this thing with his nose, like grab his nose like this, and he'd go, and I said, "Just say it, Dad. Just say it."
I don't I don't. For me, swear words is such a thing of like the 80s. I don't know. Like these days, it's just whatever, man. Fuck it.
They say it's not ladylike, and I'm like, well, this
I don't
lady
either. With
swears.
ladies, like certain things that ladies do that are like frowned upon, I actually think are really attractive.
Well, there you go. Are you a bad boy in your life? Maybe that's why we get along so well.
I think there's a part of me that is definitely, what's the word? Enigmatic, So yeah, there's something there. There's something there. There's something there.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, and we were talking through like the COVID shit, right? And I said, my family, I guess we have that defiance disorder. We really have a hard time listening to people. You know what I mean? Or rules or whatever. We're just defiant, right? So anybody that's like that, I'm very attracted to, like I'm drawn to.
Mhm.
It always was, right?
I'm, I'm
But
both.
okay,
I'm
I'm
both
gonna go.
defiant and like scared at the same time. I'm a mix of both.
I don't know. I'm not. I don't feel a lot of fear a lot of the times. And I guess I get that from my brother was fearless back in his heyday. He was fearless. Like anyway, that's a whole. I'm gonna actually have him on the podcast. Um, he's like, "Do I have to show my face?" I said, "You don't have to show your face." So I'm gonna have him. We can listen to his story because my brother's stories legit need to be in a movie.
Okay.
100%, one hundred
Legit.
percent.
Legit.
I'm gonna go back to your speaking career. How did you go from what you were doing? Did you always know that you wanted to be a speaker? Because I just realized that later in life. But how did you come to that realization?
I've always been a student of Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, and just metaphysics. So from I think the earliest 15 years old, I picked up Awaken the Giant Within. Like I've always been an avid reader. So in elementary school, I was a scholastic kid, with the book fairs. Like I didn't have friends. I grew up very bullied. I grew up very
Oh,
introverted, very alone, very quiet, very confused, very intuitive, very gifted, but very dumb. So I just didn't understand anything. I was so behind on so many things. I was always in my books. So it was just me and my books. That's it. That's the best way to put it. So by the time I hit 15, I found Tony Robbins and I was like, oh my God, Awaken the Giant Within. I just became obsessed. And then I found Bob Proctor and became obsessed. And then I found, the magic of thinking big. I got obsessed. And then um, everything just kind of like from those moments, I knew that the work that I was meant to do was going to be involved in personal development.
wow. It's funny you found Tony Robbins at a young age. I knew of Tony Robbins, and I always thought of him as a cult leader, right? So I would see people, I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like I can't believe because I never listened, right? And then my nephew Jonathan, he was working with me and he had Tony Robbins on, Marcos. And I'm like, why are you watching? I literally said to him, and so my nephew Jonathan is extremely gifted. Uh, he wasn't an introvert. He was very an extrovert, very smart, but a tough kid, right? Like photogenic memory, never had to study for school. Very, very brilliant, brilliant kid. And I said to him, why are you watching that shit? So he had, what's it called? On Netflix. I'm Not Your Guru. And he had it on, and he had it on in the car. We were driving home from Barrie. So we had an hour, and he has it on the iPad, and I'm listening, and I'm listening, and now I'm into it. And he gets to this one girl. I think she's near the beginning, and she stands up. He goes, "What do you want to make better in your life?" And she's like, my diet, I want to be healthier, right? And it wasn't even about her diet. It was about getting the love from her father that she never had because he was an addict, right? So he goes through all of it, and I'm like, okay, now I'm in tune with it because my brother was an addict, and we were affected by his life and the choices he made. So he says to her, um, you blame him for all the shit in your life, right? And she goes, yeah. And he said, you are who you are today because of all that shit. So why don't you thank him? Because do you like the person that you are today? Right. And I was like, he goes, so you should thank him for that shit. So I actually went up to my brother. He watches my dog every weekend because we work long hours. And I go up to my brother. I said, hey, bro, thank you for being my brother. And he looks at me. No, I go, thank you. He goes, for what? Watching the fucking dog? And I said, no, for being my brother. He's like, he looks around. He goes, am I being punked? And I said, no, thank you for being my brother because he's taught me so much. And I'm grateful for that. So that was my light bulb moment for Tony Robbins. I know it was a long winded story. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's a great story. I'm happy for you, and I'm happy for your brother.
Yeah, he was thought he was being punked because I thanked him.
I teach my clients how to have those types of conversations a lot. So I'm very familiar with the vulnerability and like the opportunity that exists inside of that kind of rarity for some people. So I have ultimate compassion and empathy for the vulnerability that comes with those types of experiences.
Yeah, it's awesome. Um, so I'm going into Grand Slam on November 9th. Are you going to come?
We'll see.
Hopefully you'll be there. I'm coming in fist swinging, Marcos. Okay. I'm
I
coming in.
bet. I bet.
But someone that wants to get into speaking, and you're a great coach for that, but what advice would you give somebody that is thinking, that's sitting on the couch going, I think I'd be a good speaker one day? What would you tell them?
I don't feel qualified to answer that, be honest. Like
What?
I like right now, for example, for me. So I have won these 4 public speaking competitions and I have this title and this reputation, but I'm not out there speaking. I'm not doing keynotes. I'm not traveling. I'm not doing, I'm not living up to my own expectations. So I'm in a place right now where I actually am looking for somebody to tell me how to get out of my own way and go do the damn thing. And I have my list of to do, right? Like for example, I just finished my speaker website. So great, I have a personal brand now. I have a website. The next step is my sizzle reel, right? It's like, okay, this is the sizzle reel that people are going to see that's going to inspire them to hire me. So I'm actually in the process of filming that. I have my one pager. I have my photo shoot. I have my keynote. I have my signature talk. I have my testimonials. I have my speaker packages. I have my keynote concerts. I have everything getting ready in a package where I can then publicly mass promote confidently. Hey, I can add value to your company. I
Yeah,
now, just now, 10 years later, am finally saying, I'm
I'm
finally
ready.
going after it rather than like, oh, like living off of this identity and these titles as if I'm so deserving of just people to come to me. And in all reality, like I'm in a very great transition of my life right now where all I want to do is pursue this path of being a speaker, but speak in my way, which is I don't want to have to change my brand. I want to infuse music into everything that I do. Music,
Hmm.
storytelling, spoken word, visual arts, crowd participation, and I want to cause absolute fucking pandemonium in audiences, standing ovations, shivers and tears. I want people hugging, clapping, laughing, dancing. I want to rock their world. I want to cement an emotional shift into their psyche to the point where when they leave that room, they say, what the fuck just happened? Like, that's my intention. So, for me to do that, I have to prepare me being the embodiment of the belief that I can do that, which I have enough experience to be able to know what I've caused in the world. And I need to somehow capture and package that so I can sell that. So I'm in the experience right now of doing all of that because I'm in a very pivotal place in my life where I've been coaching for 10 years and I love what I've done and I love how I've succeeded. But there's like an emptiness in me and it's the boredom of just like Zoom calls and like just the consistency of it. It's like I want to go see the world. I want to rock 25,000 people audiences. I want to use my music. I
And
want to, I
I
want to
think you
play the
need to be
piano.
there.
Like I want to I want to bust out all my power, all my gifts, because I'm just in this place where, sorry that I'm ranting, but I really feel passionate about, like, I'm just in a place now where I don't want to say it's do or die, but there is a shift in energy that in me that's happened in this last 3 months, where I'm noticing that if I'm not doing this, then what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm
Yeah.
wasting my time. So I'm very much in the purpose driven state right now. So I can't tell others how to do it. I can give them my list of, like, all the speaker coaches that I've spoken to that have said, hey, here's what you need. Do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Okay, great. I got my list, and now I'm going to go
Yeah.
after it. Right. But I'm
Yeah.
not qualified to tell speakers how to get up off the couch and go do it. The only thing I can say is start making content, start writing scripts, and start making content.
Well, that was a very honest answer, and I'm grateful for that. I appreciate that. But I want to say to you, you belong on stage. You don't belong on a Zoom call. You belong on stages across the country, across the borders. That's where you belong, and I see that for you. So get off your
You
ass
know,
and fucking do it.
Do you know anybody that's doing any events in the space, in any industry right now, coming up in the next 3 months?
Not in the next 3 months, but I got one for you next year that I'm doing, and it's going to be massive.
Done.
And you are going to be on stage, and I want you to do that. I am, and it's I can't say too much right now because it's still in the process. But yeah, you're coming, and
Done.
yeah,
So I've been practicing this 30-minute visualization meditation almost every day for the last 2 weeks, and it's always the same vision. It's always the exact same vision. It's literally a 25,000 person stadium with me doing my thing, and I got all the tools, all the. It's so fucking fancy and exciting, and there's this piece where I I catch myself inside of this experience where I'm like in the embodiment of just absolute certainty in relation to the demand that is there, and how, like, my energy, I walk into a room or a stadium or a banquet hall or whatever, and it's like there's already this sense of, like, it's certainty. It's like, because I'm there, other people feel like, hey, something's about to happen, right?
yeah, I
So
feel that energy with you.
I meditated that on yesterday, and I created a keynote concert that I'm going to do here in the park where I live, and it's called "I'm Possible: The 10 Essentials to Reach Your Maximum Potential." So it's literally 10 speeches about imagination, motivation, potential, optimism, sacrifice, skills, initiative, belief, love, and education. And it's 10 speeches in the park. Some of the songs I'll do live and I'll make it in the spot. Some of the songs will be Time from Hans Zimmer and all these other orchestrated things, but it's 10 I ams. So it's 10 I ams. Okay. So when you keep saying, like, I want you to do I am, I will do I am for the rest of my life. I always treat I am as if the Rolling Stones are still fucking playing Satisfaction at 79 years old, right?
Yeah,
I'm going to be 79 just being like, I am still alive, right? So,
I love it. I absolutely love it. But your park, you're far, right? You live in where do you live? Far.
I'm in Niagara Falls.
Oh, you're Niagara Falls. Well, you got to let me know. Is it going to be on a weekend though?
I don't know. I'm gonna go talk to the lady today who has the rights for the park, and I'm just gonna be like, how much is it? What do I need? How do I make this happen? So I'm gonna invite. It's a field party. It's literally a stage and a field, and I'm just like, okay,
I
I'm
love it.
gonna pack this field, and I'm gonna do a little 10 speech
Okay, I love it. I want to be a part of it. If it's on the weekend, I won't be able to, unfortunately. But if it isn't, I'll be there.
deal.
I'll be front row for show, for sure.
All right, what do you got up your
So,
sleeve? What's the next question? How much time?
well, I'm reading. We kind of talked through everything. I got to be honest, but I'm a little bit nervous for the Grand Slam. And you got any advice for me?
Yeah, certainty, absolute certainty. Number one. Number two, I would say creativity and innovation. So
Hmm.
my Grand Slam speech, I brought a hammer, I brought a nail, I brought a measuring tape, and I brought a pencil. And I used the analogy that building your dreams is a lot like building a home. So I painted the picture of how I utilized the measuring tape to measure the capacity of my willingness to commit to my dreams, the hammer to hammer in my beliefs, the nail to nail in my concrete decisions, and I came in with certainty and I came in with an innovative approach using metaphors. So
Okay.
there's that. And then there's the wordplay, right? Like the wordplay, I'm an advocate for like using the entire stage, but in pieces where it's split up into pockets of performance. So there's where that right, my style that I do it, and then it goes into this calm acting state, which is like, oh, I really feel like he's piercing something through me. So if you blend the innovation and creativity with the metaphors, the self certainty, it's like, well, what do you get? Well, you get this pocket that you get to literally live in, this energetic pocket of just absolute confidence, right? Like I would just suggest that you go there in a way that relates, connects, and blows people the fuck away, right? And use
That's the
everything. Use
plan.
tone, use play, use innovation, use creativity, use wordplay, use emotion, cry if you can, like really just pour out
I
your
can't
story.
cry. I think after brain surgery, I can't cry from this eye, so only tear can come out of this eye, and that rarely happens.
Okay.
But
So
did they
yeah.
give you a theme for the Grand Slam?
Yes, I think so. I
Okay,
think
because
it
we don't
was
find out until September 17th.
yeah, they give you a theme, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm. They said just start writing, and I'm like, because I'm not a writer, so I need to know the theme, and then my brain starts.
Mm-hmm.
Then I look at my life and I think, okay, how can I apply that to whatever, just like human connection? It's what I do. It's women's networking group, right? And then I was so angry during COVID, and I literally came up with the speech on the way home from that night. We both had inspiration talk in January, and I knew that it was fuck human connection, and then it would get softer, fuck human connection, and then at the end it was like, fuck human connection. But that was it. So that 30 minutes from Toronto to my house, I came out of the driveway and I told my husband, I said, I don't know what the fuck's going to be in the middle, babe, but that's my speech. That's it.
Yeah, I remember. I remember the first time you told me about it, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Okay, an award-winning speech."
So I need to come up with something else, and I'm gonna come because now it's all the winners, right? And there's a lot of really good speakers.
I know. I didn't think I was going to win the Grand Slam. I completely detached. I was like, okay, it's a very nerve-wracking experience. We're just like, and for third place, and you're like, oh shit, not me. Okay, I'm for second place. Oh, okay, not me either. Okay, I just gotta let go. Okay, and they're like first place, and you're like,
Whoa.
okay, here we go.
That's awesome. I'm really happy to be part of the Speaker Slam community. It's really, I've met so many amazing people, like so many, like yourself, like Alana, Lise, Rena, Dan. Like it's a really really good community to be a part of.
I think it's really special. Like the longevity of the brand, the consistency of it, the lives touched, the impact, the stories, the platform, but most of
Yeah,
all the consistency. Like the consistency for people to have a place to go to tell their stories and to build careers. I
yeah.
think it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm Speaker Slam for life. Like I'm, 2 seconds away from tattooing it on my arm. Like Speaker
Oh, I'm
three
gonna
three
tag Dan
awards.
and Rena, and that's gonna be a clip. I'm gonna tag them.
3 awards. One, two, three.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Well, what do you have coming up next? Have you come up with anything new that you want to talk about?
I have the video editing services. So just being a content creator, I feel selfish. I create so much content. I'm so good at it. I'm so fast.
So good.
It's like so many people ask me like, how do you do what you do? It's like, well, honestly, for me, it's so easy. It's so fast. So I was just like, okay, I'm going to start helping people with this. So I created a company called Batch Baby. Batch Baby is essentially just batching videos, right? It's like 12 videos a month, 30, 48 videos a month, whatever, right? So I help people by going to them. I film it. We do the storytelling. We write the scripts. We create the content. We film it. We edit it. And
Oh,
then
So you're doing all the work. I thought I film it and I just send it to you and you edit it. I
No, no,
You're
no, no,
going in
no.
and filming it, scripting it, and everything.
Yeah, we're going on adventures. We'll go to
That's a
forests.
whole
We'll go to
production
parks.
company.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So that was my original business. So my first $1 million business was a production company. So
Oh,
Coachable was originally a program development and production company. That's how I made all my success. It was we would film online courses and trailers and demos and corporate, like that's what we did. So going back to it
okay.
now, I was like, I'm really good at this. Like, I want to get back into it because I found this new like creative edge to it, and I was like, I want to do this for other people. I want to tell stories through film, and since there's such a high volume, social media is demanding so much. That's like the organic creators. I'm just going to say this: there's high, commercial budget videos that you pay 30 grand for a 20-second clip, right? And it's fine because they have $100,000 advertising budget to rinse and repeat that 20-second spot. But then
Right.
there's the organic content creators that each video has a 7-second shelf life. That it's like, oh great, you posted and 10 people saw it. So how do you combat that? Well, volume, right? Volume and impact. So I was just
Yeah.
like, I just brainstormed it. I was like, literally, I was like, I'm just gonna do batch baby. Batch baby is let me come, let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's film your content. Let's storyboard. Let's look at all the trends. I have all the trends. I have all the hooks. It's like, and let's film something really special. And then my team and I will edit it. And then 7-day turnaround. In 7 days, you'll have 12 videos, right? So
Wow.
I was like, let's do that. So that's number one. So that's something that I'm working on right now. It's really exciting. Number two is Coachable's like peak performance coaching is happening. Like it's amazing. Like honestly, like the opportunity to assist emotional entrepreneurs on getting out of their own way, holding them accountable, and then helping them achieve their goals, whether it be a personal or professional goal. Like I fucking cracked the code on that. Like it's Hero's Journey plus a bunch of frameworks that I've been using for the past 10 years that are based off of Think and Grow Rich when I used to work with them, and then based off of how I learned how to essentially manifest. So between Think and Grow Rich, manifestation, the Hero's Journey, and then the frameworks that I use to help people get to the core of their why they're afraid, why they don't think they can do it, or why they want something.
Hmm.
The coaching is like it's just supercharged superpowers at all times, like using vocal communication. So it's really special. And then there's the keynote concerts, which is essentially me now in the studio practicing playing music live, looping it, grabbing the mic, spitting the rhyme in sync with the visual arts, and then doing the crowd participation to create a cinematic concert experience for public speakers. So I'm really in the space where I'm just like, I have so much in me to give this world that I'm like, literally, I'm just like dancing around these commitments while simultaneously just practicing self care. Right. So it's a very exciting time right now.
It is. I'm very excited for you, Marcos. I'm so blessed that I met you, that we are friends, and hopefully one day we'll meet face to
One
face.
day.
One day.
Yeah, it's coming.
I know it will happen for sure. You're checked in. You're never going to check out. I'm going to tell you that. You're stuck with me, motherfucker.
No, I'm grateful. There's some people you meet in the world where you're just like, I fuck with that person.
Yeah. Yeah, you are that person. You're out of the Speaker Slam whole experience. You are one of the many positive things that have come out of it for sure, and I'm so
Thank you.
grateful.
I appreciate you. I'm really grateful that we have this friendship, and I can't wait for the day we do get to meet. Even Tony, to meet Tony and be like, "What's up? So you're the guy? Eh? Oh, okay, you're the
A
guy."
lot of people, it takes I'll tell you, it takes a strong man to be with somebody like me, right? I
Yeah,
can't be with I can't be with a pussy. You know what I mean? Like he's very kind, he's very loving, he treats me like a queen, but then he'll put me in my fucking place. Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean? And I like that a little bit, right? Because I've always had to be so alpha, right? That when he comes in with the alpha, and I'm like, oh, I can relax now. Okay.
yeah.
Take the reins, husband. And I fucking love it. And so many men are like, how do you put up with her? And he just looks at them and go, she's fucking easy. I don't
She's
know.
easy.
Like, I'm nothing. I'm nothing to deal with, right?
That's
But yeah,
awesome.
you wait till you meet him. You'll love him. He's got a great sense of humor, very dry sense of humor. Like he'll say something and you'll like continue talking. And you're like, wait, what? You'll fucking love him.
I
You'll
love
love
dry
him.
sense humor. I can be so dry on my moody days, and it's like it's a part of me that I love. It's just like dry humor is awesome. It's like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
something
he's
about it.
awesome. I'm very blessed. I'm blessed in so many ways. I'm a very lucky girl.
Love that.
Oh,
All right.
thank you,
Well,
my friend.
where can we find this conversation? Was this live right now, or is this
No,
going to be
no, I'm going to
uploaded?
post it on Tuesday.
Hmm.
I'm going to edit it and it's going to go out on Tuesday. And I'm going to put all your credentials so everybody can find you and get in love with you like I'm in love with you. And we're going to make this shit fucking happen.
I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity, and I had a really good time.
I'm grateful for you coming on and taking the time and doing it for me and
You're welcome.
igniting the fire.
Let's get it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I want you to like and subscribe and follow Marcos. I'll put all his details down below, and we'll see you on the next episode.
See you
See ya.
then.
He ended it.